So this next video is, I don't know what this is about actually, but I saw it on my feed. It's from Asmongold, and it just says, WoW's community is trash, and Blizzard developer calls Asmongold out. So you see, Blizzard developers apparently have this culture of just talking shit about Asmongold, which I find, it's weird. It's just weird that they still can't understand that Asmongold has probably made them so much money. It's weird that that can't compute in their heads. Like there's like a circuit breaker or something that just keeps firing off whenever they hear the name Asmongold. It's like, and it turns their brain off. Like there's something wrong in these people's heads. But you know, let's see what they have to say this time.
So there are a lot of people who are upset. There are a lot of people who are angry at me. They're pissed off because I said that the WoW community is toxic and trash. I saw a clip, I think it was S-Fan talking about how the Final Fantasy community is a better community than the WoW community in terms of like being supportive, etc. Let me tell you something. That is completely true. There has never been a truer Trude that has ever been Trude. Like, I'll be honest, the WoW community is, it's trash.
Okay. Let's see where this goes.
Because I was in it. So there was a
I was in it? Past tense. Past tense. It's over.
There's another WoW dev, another World of Warcraft developer. He was a systems designer who liked another tweet about me being the toxic person for the game. Yes, there's another one. They hate me. Yes, they're not happy about me. They're very upset about me. So these people are calling me out. And
this track's about Asmongold. WoW community. Why is the WoW community trash? Jesus Christ.
These people are saying negative stuff about me and talking shit about me. And I want to let you guys know that I think it's a very simple question. Who do you think contributes more to the toxicity in the game? Do you think it is the person who streams the game? Or the person who literally makes the systems in the game? Okay, yeah, there we go. Who's going to tell him? A senior systems designer on Warcraft, depending on Asmongold calling the WoW community trash. This is very funny to me. This is extremely funny to me that they would do this. Have I been toxic in the past? Absolutely. Have I done some things that are toxic? Absolutely. I take no, I don't hide from that. In fact, I talk about it regularly. It's who I was. And in a way, it's still who I am. I don't pretend. However, do you want to know what real pretending seems like? It seems like taking /spit out of the game while you let people say the N-word. You don't care about harassment.
Ooh, shit. Oh, shit. Somebody needs to go get like a fire extinguisher or something for that burn, dude. That's gonna hurt a little bit. That's gonna, yeah, you're gonna feel that one in the morning.
You don't care about toxicity. You care about protecting the feelings of your whales. It's pathetic.
That's exactly what I said. Remember what I said? Remember what I said? It's like, if people keep spitting on the people buying the mounts, people might eventually stop buying the mounts. So they got to get rid of that. They can't have people not buy mounts.
Absolutely fucking pathetic. Like, I have to read this bullshit, right? I have to read this bullshit. that gets the seal of approval from the people that work at the game, who make the game this way. I'll tell you something. If somebody was a senior systems designer in another company and they actually had, you know, besides just fucking a 10-year of job security, they'd be out on their fucking ass if they spent 2 expansions making the dog shit trash garbage that they've been doing with BFA and Shadowlands. You'd be out on your fucking ass. Before you call me toxic, deal with your own fucking game. Should be lucky you even have a job. It's a joke. An absolute fucking joke. Like, I hate to say this, right? I hate to be an asshole, but if somebody wants to come at me and talk shit to me, I will talk shit right back. I have no problem taking the low road. If you want to come at me with that shit, these systems in WoW are the worst thing about the game. They are the absolute worst thing about the game. They could fire every single person in the systems design team and go through the phone book and hire the first 5 names, and the game would be better.
The first 5 names in the phone book. Like they'd got like a plumber, a dentist, some guy who's unemployed. And they do a better job than all these systems designers. And the worst part is that it's true. We've talked about it over and over. Like, I'm sitting here laughing at this because it's true. That's why it's so fucking funny. It's so funny because it's fucking true. And if you disagree with this, then you haven't been playing World of Warcraft. I mean, I haven't been playing World of Warcraft since, like, I don't even know. When did I stop playing after Shadowlands? I don't know. It was shortly after I finished the raid for the first time. It was like too many chores, too many bullshit. And it's like, it is. It just is. They keep developing themselves into these fucking corners that then they have to keep like balancing and balancing. They spend so much time balancing. It's like a fucking math conference is what it is. It's just a bunch of mathematicians all with their fucking, you know, formulas and shit trying to justify things over here and things over there. And then they just have to spend the whole fucking time looking at formulas when they could just be making more content. No, the formulas. We must crack the formula. We must achieve perfect balance. And they never do it because, you know, there's always classes that are shit. There's always flavor of the month because of your fucking asinine systems that are going to be obsolete when the next expansion rolls around. Good fucking job.
Absolute fucking garbage. And then for them to hide behind the idea that I'm the one that's toxic. Like, I'm the one that does this stuff while they're molesting people. They have people getting molested at their company. But I'm the bad one for saying to spit on somebody with a store mount. It's a joke. Systems designer, I have all people calling you toxic. You cannot make that shit up. You want to see what's toxic is having massive punishment systems for failing systems. These systems in the game create more toxicity than I ever could. This is the game being programmed to be toxic. I know, obviously, I probably shouldn't say things like this. But I'm not a pussy bitch. I'm not going to let people sit around and talk shit to me. That's not what's going to happen. Especially somebody who's a systems designer should spend more time doing his job. Or just, how about spend any time doing your job? So ironic developers responsible for systems or that make players toxic or calling someone toxic, which in itself is toxic. Yeah, exactly. Like it's what it's doing is it's rationalizing and it's giving like a stamp of approval to be toxic towards me, an individual. Whenever I criticize a system, whenever I criticize something in the game, I never attach a name to it. I never say, this person is bad. But then whenever you take something and you make it personal towards one person, and if you read these comments of a lot of these different tweets and shit like this, this is not constructive criticism. These are people that are insulting my appearance. They're insulting my lifestyle, which is degenerate, right? But this is just not grounds to criticize a person on in this way. It's just not. So these are the kinds of people. And they don't talk about the ideas that I have. They don't even talk about the things that I do. They talk about me as a person. This is low-level thinking for low-level minded people. And whenever a Blizzard developer, somebody who actually works at the company, gives that a stamp of approval, that offends me. It does. You attack their company every day, though. You barely play the game. I am attacking their company. So is the state of California. Everybody is. It's because they're doing it wrong. I probably played WoW more than him. I probably know more about the game than he does. I can almost guarantee you I do. Which is the fast leveling, the time walking, and the nerfs. I was lying in bed today, and I read about that. So I want to go ahead and tell you guys about a little story here. So basically, this is what happened, and this is a little bit of drama here that happened with Blizzard. Basically, there was a large nerf. There was a bug, I guess, or some sort of like a different scaling in terms of time walking experience. And what ended up happening is that scaling bug allowed people to level up really, really, really fast in time walking. Like, I'm talking about they were getting up to level 60 from 50 in like 5 or 7 runs. And obviously Blizzard, within like a few hours of finding out about this, found the time of the day, found the place in their heart, and they were able to nerf this to the ground. Because that's really what matters. That's really what makes a difference. No fun allowed. Yeah, I mean, not talking about, all the different bugs in the game, not talking about banning the boosters that are just plaguing LFG. Now, how can you tell me that this is something that you can't deal with? The priorities of this company are just so backwards and stupid that why would anybody want to play a game that they make? That's really the truth. Like, whenever you know that these people are scrambling and fucking having emergency meetings and fire drills the moment that they realize that you can skip one of their arbitrary grinds that you don't want to do for the 7th time, but meanwhile, the things that actually diminish the quality of the game, they let those languish and fucking fester and infect everything else and make the game worse. So,
because they monetize it, though. They can't monetize people going through time walking super fast. Because if they could, they wouldn't touch it. If they actually could monetize that bug, like if they could, I don't know, maybe they would start something where it's like, hey, in order to do time gating, you have to pay 50,000 gold. They'd leave it be. They wouldn't even touch it. They'd be like, yeah, this is fine. You want to know why? Because 50,000 gold is going to be a lot for a lot of players. They're not going to be able to do it that much. So what are they going to do? Are they going to turn to farming gold? No. They're going to buy a WoW token. And that, cha-ching, that makes them money. So they can monetize that. But if they can't monetize that bug, then they have to fix it. On the other hand, the thing that Asmongold is complaining about is the boosters. The people who are buying boosts through either PvE content or PvP content. Those people are fine. Why? Because they can buy the WoW token with real money, and then they use that in order to get their boost. So at the end of the day, Blizzard is still getting paid. That's the only thing that matters. That is literally the only thing that matters, is whether or not a system can make them money. So that's why Blizzard doesn't fuck around with the boosters. They're probably some of the biggest whales they have. So that's good for them. It's like, hey, we're monetizing that. That's fine. That's working as intended. Boost all you want. Boost through PvP, PvE. Who cares? It's a video game, right? But then when people are actually leveling up and having fun, Blizzard's like, hey, wait, are we making money on that? No? Okay, gotta fix it. Fix it now. Whatever, dude.
Yeah, I'm fucking annoyed, man. I'm really fucking annoyed by this. I didn't even do this and I'm fucking annoyed because, again, it just goes to show the priority of the company, right? This is the same company that, aside from all of the other obvious botting and boosting and cheating and bullshit that's happening in Burning Crusade, the one thing that they managed to get rid of in the PTR was the /spit emote. These are the things that they consider important because they are incompetent and they shouldn't be working there. That's really the truth. Is if anybody else did that level of a job, they would be out on their ass in a fucking second. So whenever I hear about new people coming into Blizzard that hadn't worked there for 10 years, you're goddamn right I'm excited, because the people that have worked there for 10 years have made straight dog shit for 9 times out of 10. Am I wrong? It's just fucking sad, man. It's just fucking sad. And I don't think anybody should support this. This is just pathetic. It's a pathetic waste of your time, and they know it, and that's why they're doing it. Let's go ahead and move on. Some stuff was good. Come on. Yeah, that was the 1 out of 10. You're right. There was some stuff that was good. Some of the content in Legion was good. But Legion also had artifact weapons that you had to farm Maw of Souls for 8 hours a day in order to meet arbitrary DPS checks on bosses in Trial of Valor. And then Legion also had a literal fucking cap. Basically, the way that this used to work, a lot of people don't remember this, is that
I never
you
played
would
that
get your
far in.
first and your second legendary very quickly whenever you got your whenever you leveled your first character up in Legion. So your first legendary would happen, like, let's say it's like 30 days, right? Your first legendary would happen on day 3, your second legendary would happen on like day 10, and then I don't know, like day 20 and day 30 would be like your third and your fourth. Well, guess what happened after you got your 4th legendary at the beginning of Legion?
No more.
They literally turned off the stacking multiplier for you to get more legendaries. So the philosophy with the company was that they didn't want you to get too many legendaries, even though there was a differential between the legendaries' power by like twice as much. And yeah, I think that Legion was good in a lot of ways. I miss Legion.
And this is why a lot of hardcore raiders would reroll characters of the same class, because they'd get like their legendaries and be like, this is not the one we need, roll the class again. And they would probably buy boosts, I'm assuming some of them, which is why Blizz like, this is fine. They're buying boosts. This is great. It's good business.
But I don't want to have anybody sit here and tell me that expansion was completely good, because it fucking wasn't. It had a bunch of problems and had a bunch of bullshit in it. So keep that in mind, man. Please don't keep ranting about old expansion and need something new. Well, the reason why I'm talking about the old expansion, here's why, is because the people that worked on that expansion are making this change today. Those are the people that shouldn't be working on the game at all. These people are incompetent morons that probably don't even play it. They're fucking stupid.
They 100%
I'm sick of
don't
having
play
my
it.
time wasted by incompetent people who shouldn't even be working there to begin with. It's pathetic. That's the truth. They're fucking garbage. And I'm sick of pretending like it's anything else other than that. They're incompetent, and in any other job that has had the levels of failure that WoW has, they'd be out on their ass because they have no fucking idea what they're doing. They can't program any of the fucking mechanics. Like, there's shit wrong all the time in Korthia. They put it on the players to beta test the game, and then they don't listen to the feedback from the players until two expansions later, or 2 patches later. I'm pissed, man. The people are just fucking incompetent.
That's because the players' feedback is basically how they're going to work on the final patch of that expansion to get the players to be happy at the end of the expansion so that they can sell them the next expansion where they're going to do the same shit that's going to require you to grind and farm and do all of this other annoying garbage. And, you know, then by the end of that expansion, they'll fix it again. You know, it's not... If you really think about it, and I've talked about this a lot, it's not an actual problem with the game. It's a design decision. They designed the game like shit on purpose so that they can then sell you the solution months down the line to make you happy, to get you on the hook for the next expansion that they make. That's going to be dog shit again until they get to the final patch where you can actually play the game.
And it's only gotten worse. Somebody says they're too busy sexually abusing people. Nah, man. It's got nothing to do with that. The thing is, like, yeah, that's happening for sure. But, like, there is the incompetence in the game that just simply exists. It's not predicated on sexual harassment. It's not because of something else. It's just because they don't know what they're doing. It's literally that simple. That's it. There's nothing else more to it than that.
It's true. It's all true. And the developers are sitting over there like all smug because he called the World of Warcraft community toxic. And it's like I wouldn't say the community as a whole is toxic though. I'm sure that there's a little bit more context to that. Then again, they didn't really put it in the video. But it's like there's obviously a lot of people in there that are toxic, for sure. For sure. But a lot of it has been told before, a consequence of the game itself. It's a consequence of the game itself. Because the game is a piece of trash, and it has been a piece of trash for fucking years. And before people ask, because like I always get comments whenever I post these on the secondary channel, people always ask, why do you still report on it? Why do you guys, like, you know, people like me or even Asmongold or anybody else, why do we still talk about this? Why do we keep talking about this? Because at the end of the day, for a significant portion of our lives, of the people who are talking about this, at the end of the day, this game was really important for us during a significant portion of our lives. And that's why we talk about it. Because we liked playing it. Because we would like to play it. But the developers are actively working against us. They're making the experience completely miserable for anyone that wants to do anything in this game other than swipe your fucking credit card. If you swipe your credit card, the game's probably a ton of fun for you. It's probably fantastic. I don't know if you're actually playing it, though, if you're swiping, but, you know, because you're probably just buying boosts and whatnot. It's like, oh, this is great. Yay. I'm going to do the raid. It's going to cost me like, I don't know, 100,000 gold. I don't know how much boosts cost. It's going to buy a WoW token. Yay. Get daddy's credit card in there. Boom, go. Yay. I'm so happy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bonus round. As I was editing the footage that you are watching just now, I realized that another video was uploaded onto Asmongold's channel, and it's titled Asmongold on World of Warcraft developers still being hostile while everyone is quitting. Considering that this subject is pretty much linked to the footage you just watched, I figured I would just react to this one offline and add it into the video because I'm not going to be around next week anyway, so I'm sorry for any inconvenience, but let's get this started and see what this is all about.
Did you see the WoW devs bashing people on Twitter for making complaints about the game? No, I haven't seen that. Anyway, 20th Century Union organizers died to give me a weekend, so I'm limiting replies on this. Quote retweet my inability to reply, I will block you.
If you quote tweet this tweet to get around your inability to reply, I will block you. Damn.
No hate towards you. What's this here? WoW lead and counter designer. The moment I run into fire X person on the team and any comment or feedback, it instantly goes into trash regardless of what else there is. Zero tolerance policy for people who suggest that my teammates should lose their jobs. I mean, if you fired all systems designers in our game specifically, you wouldn't get any more items ever. Well, if that means we don't...
So, are they actually like No. Are they actually replying to Asmon's video? No way. I don't know the timelines because, you know, I just reacted to that video today. So I don't know this 12 hours and whatnot. I don't think that would be directly related to that video.
Don't have another set of fucking shards of domination. That'd be a good thing. You know, like, I mean, that's what people want. So these kinds of things, like,
wait. I missed that. I'm sorry.
Well, if that means we don't have another set of fucking shards of domination, that'd be a good thing. You know?
He's right. He's 100% right. Shard's domination is atrocious. Like, as a matter of fact, I think I was watching like a Bellular video earlier, and they nerfed one of the rune words of the shards of domination by 50% or something like that, and they didn't even tell anyone. It's getting hard to follow all of the chaos that is happening at this point.
Like, I mean, that's what people want. So these kinds of things, like, I don't know what's wrong with these people. I really don't. And sorry to make fucking items. Yeah, it's like nobody else could ever do this. The reality is that here's what happens whenever you do a job like what's happened with BFA and Shadowlands. In any other industry, you'd be out of a job. Like, that's the truth. Yeah. Like, you would. Like, whenever you lose money on an entertainment product.
Here's the thing. I think that Asmon is, you know, he's getting a little bit too heated about this, and I understand why, because it pisses me off too. Like, legitimately pisses me off too. The thing is, if you follow through, the thing is, like, the job that they did is still giving Blizzard profit. Like, most of, I would say 90-something% of us don't agree with it. And we think that it's trash and it makes the game bad, and that's why a lot of people are quitting on it. That, and obviously the situation that Blizzard is in. But the reason why they don't lose their jobs is because the game is still making money. Like people have said, like even even in those leaks that we saw and whatnot, it's like the cash shop is making up for a lot of this stuff. It feels like it's just like a casino, right? You know what the motto is for the casinos, right? Keep them playing and the house always wins. So long as, the customer at the casino continues to play, the house is always going to make their money back. And the situation here is pretty much similar. That's why these systems are the way they are, to ensure that people become completely addicted to them and they keep playing so that they eventually spend money in the cash shop, and that's how they're going to make their money. And obviously they also get the monthly fee and the box cost and whatever, and the WoW tokens, because these people are whales, are going to buy the WoW tokens too. So ultimately, it's just a very user hostile system, and it's not properly tested and all that, but it keeps people playing and it keeps paying the bills. So, there's no reason for them to be fired from the perspective of, the leadership of Blizzard. There's obviously reason for them to be fired from the perspective of the players, because the systems are complete and utter garbage and useless and trash. But
product over COVID, like during COVID, you'd be out of a job. And really, imagine having bad systems like this for 2 years, 4 years. It's crazy. At a certain point, I'm not saying maybe they shouldn't get fired, but something needs to fucking happen. Something drastic needs to fucking happen. The reality is that whenever this is why the community is like this, okay? It's because they're not listening. They're not listening. They're not saying, okay, well, now people keep saying that they don't want this type of system. We're going to stop putting it in the game. No, they just continue doing it.
Yeah.
That's what the issue is. Yeah, they keep doing it. If they had just listened to what the players want, then that's all it would take. They're cornered and react accordingly to Twitter. What do you expect? I expected in the past 5 years for them to improve the systems and listen to the player base rather than make people beta test a bad system for an entire expansion. They're cornered on Twitter. They haven't been cornered for 5 years.
It's a feature.
Nothing's happened.
It's not a bug. It's a feature. It's designed that way. We talked about this. Some people call it a conspiracy theory, but it's clearly designed that way to keep people playing. And then eventually they introduce the quality of life with every patch that comes along, until the final patch is usually going to be the best patch of that expansion, so that people get, hooked on the game again, and then they can sell you another expansion that's also going to start like crap, and so on it goes, and the cycle repeats.
Literally nothing's happened. You're having people quitting the game in thousands. People are it's more popular to quit WoW than play WoW. It's obvious. Yeah. Everybody is talking about it. You're having the massive community figures. I'm not even talking about myself, right? There are plenty of people who are quitting the game, and it's happening. There's a new one every single day. This is not normal. It's just not at all. I don't know. The way I look at it is that I can spend all day talking about this and complaining about this, and we can have endless conversations about how WoW is bad, right? And I think that we do that. We do that all the time. But the truth is that these conversations fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
They fall on deaf ears because the community, the people that run the game don't care. And not only do they not care, they actively dislike the people that are giving the suggestions based off of arbitrary criteria that oftentimes has nothing to do with the game. Oh, I don't like this person because of a political statement that they made. What the fuck does that have to do with the game? What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Are you stupid? Obviously, I genuinely think, I really, really do mean this, okay? I'm not joking around. I'm not playing around or anything. I genuinely think that they're incompetent. I think they have no idea what they're doing.
You need to play the game in order to know what you're doing. You need to actually experience the thing that you're designing in order to know what you're doing. Here's a simple example. Whenever I put up a video on YouTube, I usually watch it before I put it up on YouTube. Or at least I try most of the time. Sometimes some stuff slips through the cracks because I'm a one-man show, okay? I'm a one-man show. I react, I record, I produce, I, edit. I do all the things. I upload, do the metadata. I do everything alone. So sometimes something slips through the crack. But most, for instance, with the Mike Morheim video, I messed up the audio. But it was the audio at the end. Because I actually watched the video most of the way, but I didn't watch it all the way, and the audio at the end slipped up. But you guys get it. Sometimes something slips up with me, but it's before I put a video online, I watch it. And before Blizzard puts out a patch, before they put out a raid, before they come up with another system, they should play that system. They probably had a team that used to do that. You know, it's called quality assurance. Except they probably fired all those people because they think that someone being paid to play video games all day is a bad idea. Except QA does so much more, but they have no respect for QA. As a matter of fact, a majority of the gaming industry has no respect for QA. This is why so many games come out bugged. A lot of the times they even have a good QA team that will like report the problems and they won't fix it. They're like, I'll fix it later. They don't care because a majority of the gaming industry has no respect for QA. And this is what you get. There's no testing. There's no testing done on any of these systems whatsoever. Don't even tell me that there's one person at Blizzard playing these systems and going like, yeah, that's fun. It's great, dude. It's fantastic. I love it. Shards out. Amazing. It's like if they actually played it, here's what was going to happen. They would do the raid. You know, they would do the raid probably with players because they can't, you know, I believe it was told at one point that they can't actually feature a mythic raiding team within the Blizzard team for some strange reason. So they'd probably play it with the players on PTR. They'd play the system there. They'd experience the system and then they'd be able to report and go like, yeah, the system works great. I didn't get a single domination shard. I didn't get a single piece of gear to put a domination shard in. But the raid was fun, so there you go. The system works great, guys. It's working just as intended. I didn't get a single piece of loot. Thanks. Fan-friggin-tastic.
That's the truth. And I really think that. I don't think that they're doing it on purpose because they're evil or something like that. I think that they just have no fucking idea what they're doing. And it's complacency. I think that in many times it is complacency because they think that there's never anything bad that's going to happen if they do a bad job for years. And it just sucks, man. The thing is, like, here's really the difference. I can see somebody being defensive whenever they're being criticized. But the difference is that, like, let's say I'm being criticized a lot for something. Well, I have a position there where I'm either going to decide, do I want to continue doing this thing or do I want to listen to what people are saying and do it differently? And there have been times, I really believe this, where I have listened to criticism and thought to myself, you know what, this is kind of true. And there are cases where this happens, but the WoW devs, there are no cases with this. They just continue like ramming their shit down people's throats and people are tired of it, man. They're just fucking tired of it.
And sometimes I get people in the comment section of these videos where they go like, well, it's not exactly like that. No, you're wrong. If you think you're actually wrong, like just think about it. Just think about it for a second. Like all of the stuff that happened in BFA, all of the problems that happened during BFA were all reported by players like Preach when it came to the PvE stuff, like Stoops when it came to the PvP stuff. It was all reported in the betas. The same thing for Shadowlands. And guess what? Nothing was done. So either it is incompetence or it is intent. I'm not sure that I believe the same stuff that Asmon believes. Like, I believe that he believes they're incompetent. I believe this is their objective, whether it is by the will of the designers themselves or not. Like, I believe that the whole conspiracy theory thing, I think it is what it is. The game comes out broken so that players have to spend a bunch of time figuring out the systems and trying to optimize themselves around the broken ass systems the game launches with. And then they slowly fix it so that the last patch is the best, so that eventually they sell you another expansion and you get off the expansion on a high note and excited for the next one. And then in the next one, they repeat the cycle. And they repeat the cycle. And in a lot of ways, if you think about it, all of the negative coverage the game gets is still press coverage around World of Warcraft. So you get a bunch of content creators, creating content around it and being like, this system's broken, this thing doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. But they're talking about it. The problem is that now a lot of content creators are actually quitting. So they're not even going to get that negative press, depending on whether or not these players come back for future patches or what the deal is.
That's why everybody's leaving. We get early access systems every expansion. Yeah, exactly. We get early access systems, and we have to be the ones that make them. Like a lot of the changes that these systems go through are changes that are suggested by the players. Why are the devs even there to begin with? Why don't we just do everything through a straw poll? Because apparently that's the way that they make decisions anyway. Like oftentimes, like what ends up happening at the end of the expansion is the thing that the players wanted at the beginning of the expansion. Like, why is this even like? Why don't we just cut out the middleman and just fucking do everything with a straw poll if that's the way we're gonna make the game? It's crazy. Not all of them. No, I know. There's a lot of good devs at Blizzard. I absolutely know that. I know that, and that everybody knows that. There are a lot of people there who do a great job, and they're very good at what they're doing. But there are some people that have like this general oversight into the game, right? Like systems and things like this that just poison the entire game. And I think that's what the core problem is, more so than anything. A lot of players end up in alpha beta testing systems for 1.5 years just to enjoy the finished product for a few months. Exactly, man. They were on thin ice and you nicked it by going to Final Fantasy 14. I want to be honest, okay? Like, yeah, obviously, me playing Final Fantasy 14 does look bad for WoW because of the optics of it. Because, like, you know, WoW is a lot lower on the Twitch, whatever you want to call it, like the Twitch directory. And overall, there's more people that play because there's people that, like, you know, I host, like Rich, etc. And so he's going to try it. Like, S-Fan's going to try the game. Other people are going to try the game too. And so it does create a cascading effect. Absolutely. Yeah, sure. But I am just one person. As much as you think that I have a big ego, let me make you very clear that I do not think this has anything to do with me. I have played other games before, and nobody went over and played that game. You can get all the exposure in the world. You can buy every streamer to play your game. You can get every streamer to play your fucking game. And if your game sucks, it's gonna go right into the fucking toilet the moment that they turn off their stream. Because nobody cares about the game. And that's why it didn't matter if I played Final Fantasy or not. Because if I played Final Fantasy and people thought it sucked, nobody would have watched the stream, and it would have been shitty. I'd have to play it off stream or something like that, because I wouldn't want to just play a game that everybody fucking hates on my stream all the time, right? Like, that's just fucking, it's a bad vibe. And so anyway, it worked because people liked it. So it's a symbiotic relationship.
It's almost as if Final Fantasy 14 is a great game. Which I've said. I said it ahead of all of them changing over and playing it. I was like, man, this game's friggin' amazing. I was doing content for it. Yeah.
You know, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did the streamer promote it, or did the viewers like it so the streamer promoted it? You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm really trying to get at, okay?
And in the case of Asmongold, like, his community hounded him to play Final Fantasy 14, is my understanding. Like, people would be all the time, you gotta try it, gotta do it.
Guys, my thoughts. What's this here? Saying Asmongold is the only reason why the WoW community is toxic is complete bullshit. I was part of the German community, and as a woman, it was not nice. Everyone knows it's toxic. I close that game so often, crying my eyes out because the community's treating me like shit. Stop blaming one single person and start working on the roots. Everyone who ever played WoW knows how toxic the community is. I was called a bitch almost every day by strangers. To be fair, I do that too. But I don't do it just because it's a girl. Let's see here. Dudes talked about my boobs and generally about my body without even knowing what I look like. Running random mythic keys could be hell. Even if you did well, the moment someone made a mistake, all hell broke loose. And I tried to step in for myself, but no one else cares. Fix your fucking game. Stop blaming people for a bigger problem. So here's really what the problem is. The problem is Blizzard has no moderation with the game. People just run fucking wild in the game. They make 10 different characters. They are super abusive and harassing at people, and Blizzard doesn't ban them. That's the issue. That is the core issue, is that people do annoying and bad shit, and Blizzard doesn't do anything to ban them or get rid of them. It's the same thing as Twitch. Yeah, exactly. And this is what happens, though. It's like, if you allow a community to happen like that, like, for example, here, I'll give you a really good example. With any sort of a very, like, let's say, quote, toxic community on Twitch, what happens whenever communities don't ban people that are being abusive and being, like, really vitriolic and angry? Like, what happens? Because I can tell you what happens from my experience is those communities just get worse and worse and worse. It never gets better. It's never like, oh, well, they're just speaking their mind. It always gets worse. And again, what does this all stem from? This all stems from Blizzard wanting to save money. That's all it is. It's not because they want people to get harassed. Blizzard doesn't want people to get harassed at all. They're just doing it because it's easier to do that than actually fix the game and spend money. Streamers get bans on chat for spamming N-words, but Twitch won't block N-word for being used on a platform. It is, though. Yeah, N-word is blocked on Twitch. It's globally blocked with the hard R it is. And other than that, yeah, you're right. And so this is what happens, right? Is like if you, and there are streamers that do this, and ironically, it's for the same reason. There are streamers that allow a toxic community to become bigger and bigger part of their audience. And why does that happen? It's because those people are viewers. Those people are a number. And if you get more viewers, that means that you can make more money, you have more influence, and just in general, you are more, you're more important, right? And anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of streamers that don't ban that kind of stuff and don't do that kind of stuff because they want the viewers. And the ironic thing about this is that this is the same thing that happens with Blizzard, is that they're saving money by not actually hiring GMs and banning people appropriately. And because of that, what happens is that the community just gets worse and worse and worse. And this is the truth. And it's happened for a long fucking time.
It's weird for me because I would get exposed to the toxic World of Warcraft community whenever I was doing random dungeons every now and then. You know, because I'm aware of how toxic the community can get in World of Warcraft. But I wouldn't say that I've been overly exposed to it as someone that played significant chunks of World of Warcraft. Because most of the time I would try to play with people that I would speak with on Discord. I've never really made a big deal of playing with females. Like, hey, it's cool. Just female, it's great. I do my best to make them feel welcome. That's about it. I wouldn't be going around like, oh, hey, boobs are GTFO. Because there's a lot of people think that stuff is funny. But guess what? After the ladies heard it for like the friggin' 300th time, or the 300,000th time, it's not that funny anymore. You know, even if you're saying it in the joking tone, it stops being funny and you just sound like a creeper. So yeah, it kind of sucks that, you know, that females have to deal with that stuff because, you know, again, it shouldn't be a thing. But yeah, and with the whole developer situation, it's just like, I don't even know what to say. How they can keep, you know, just being hostile towards their player base and particularly towards their content creators. You're going to feel it in the bones. You keep alienating your content creators. You're going to feel it in your bones. Just wait. Just wait for the domino effect. Just you wait. Because, like, they have no idea. Like, it surprises the hell out of me that a company that has seen so much success because of community, because of their community, like Blizzard got to where it was because of its community elevating it to where it was. They see the success that they've had because of community. How can they not understand that right now there are massive communities around content creators? And that if those content creators stop making content for their game, they're going to feel it. They're going to learn that sooner or later. I'll tell you that right now.